Welcome to Egypt as our coverage of the PSA's high-tech Super Series continues with the Ahram International from Cairo. A $140,000 event, this tournament attracts all the sport's top names. But it's not just the players that make this event one of the most spectacular on the calendar. With a 3,000-seater stadium surrounding the court and one of Egypt's most well-known athletes seated 6, the atmosphere here is electric. Coupled with that, the stunning open-air location and the squash-hungry Egyptians, and you really do have a squash presentation like nowhere else in the world. So now you've seen what we've got to look forward to from Ahram. Let's just take a quick look back at what's been going on in the world of squash since the last Super Series event. Appearing in the Commonwealth Games for the first time, squash has another new title holder. As world number 1 Peter Nicol picked up the title and a gold medal to add another success to his amazing year.
Oh, it certainly was. The whole games were special. I'm just happy to be there. It's one of those things, as you say. But to win it, and in the fashion I did, I mean, I'm delighted. I'm sure the feeling's going to get stronger the longer it sort of is in my memory.
Nicol beat Canadian Jonathan Power in that Commonwealth final. Sweet revenge for the Scot after the Super Series final in Hong Kong. A defeat, though, that's obviously affected the Canadian. He retired from this Ahram event in his opening match, with recurring injuries the reason. And talking of injury, Yansha Khan is again absent from this event. Rumour has it he may be saving himself for one last appearance at the World Open in Qatar, where a win will see him clock up his 100th tournament victory. So that leads us to a totally different lineup of faces here in Egypt, as the famous sites of Giza in Cairo, the Sphinx and the pyramids, have been joined by another impressive but slightly less permanent structure. So without further delay, let's take a look at the event so far, where a main draw of 32 players has been whittled down to just 8 left, throwing up some interesting quarter-finals. Nicol and Isles are the only one of the top 5 seeds to survive the opening rounds, but the threat of local man Barada is ever strong. We start though by looking at that first quarter-final, which matches up world number 1 Peter Nicol against world number 10 Mark Challoner. Both players representing their countries at the Commonwealth Games. Nicol, of course, winning that individual gold medal in what really has been a year to remember for the Scotsman. February saw him claim his number 1 spot in the world rankings. He then celebrated his 25th birthday with victory at the British Open. Now he would love to defend the title he picked up here at the Ahram by beating Khan last year. It was quite a slow tempo from the two Britons. At 14-7 up, Nicol's got the first game sewn up. And there he goes, Nicol taking the first game, anxious to avoid those gruelling 4- and 5-game matches that dogged him in the Hong Kong finals. A relaxed-looking Nicol, he's been through all this before, so he won't be pressured. And into the third game, it was looking good for the Scot. Winning the first game 15-7, a more dynamic Challoner pushed him to 15-13 in game 2. But we see here, Nicol 13-5 up and looking good for the semi-finals.
14-5 game match ball.
And match ball for Nicol. No way back into this for Challoner. It's all over for the Englishman as Nicol reaches yet another Super Series semi-final. continuation of that result then, Nickel beating Challoner in 3 straight games. But more interestingly, on the other side of the draw, third place seed Rodney Isles goes out to local favourite Ahmed Barada. A close game, but no semi-final for the Australian. Well, we've already seen the kind of support Ahmed Barada can expect from his doting fans here. But as one of the less consistent players in the world's top 10, Ahmed's changing his controversial on-court attitude in his search for success.
This year I didn't speak to the referees, I didn't speak to the crowd, I didn't do anything, but I'm trying to concentrate, and I'm getting much experience now. Last 2 years I was a little bit young, I'm still young, but now I'm trying to improve for the game and for the profession of the game.
Local favourite Barada then, through to the semis already, but with 2 quarter-finals left, who'll make up the last 4. Scotland already has 1 player through, but trying to join compatriot Peter Nicol in those semis, Martin Heath, in green here, took on Australian battler Byron Davies. Both players would have been pleased to have made it this far in such a prestigious event, as they're both outside the PSA top 10 rankings. But with so many top names already exiting the tournament, neither player will now have ruled out the chance for a place in the final. They won't be thinking that far ahead yet, though. This is all down for a place in the semis. We joined them in the 3rd game, and it's Heath who holds the trump card. 2 games up, 13-7 in the 3rd. Heath's playing some of the best squash we've seen him so far this season.
14-7 match ball.
And this is match ball for Heath. And Heath takes the win. 3 straight games against Byron Davies. He's got a lot to be pleased about as he now heads for a showdown with Peter Nicol.
I think today it was fitness, to be honest with you. I'm not going to flatter myself by saying that I played more accurately than him. I think I just ran today. Yesterday, 2 days ago against David Evans, I thought I was quite impressive. I thought I was very accurate. I chopped the ball in quite well. Today, for whatever reason, I didn't feel too nervous, but for whatever reason, I had to do a lot of running.
But Heath makes it through in 3, while down the bottom of the draw, it's that on-form Englishman, Paul Johnson, who again makes the semi-finals after the only 4-game match of the bunch, beating Australian Dan Jensen. Not a good round for Australians then. 3 in the quarter-finals, they all go home. And we're left with our 4 semi-finalists and the stunning prospect of more excellent high-tech Super Series squash. Join us after the break. Welcome back to unmistakable Cairo. As the Ahram International moves into the semi-final stages, the last 4 players prepare to fight it out for the biggest prize purse in the world. First up, bringing you what promises to be a thrilling encounter with local squash guru Ahmed Barada taking on PSA number 8, Paul Johnson. Barada made it to the semi-finals here last year before going out to Peter Nicol in an electric semi-final showdown. This year, though, he hopes to go one better and has made good headway after adopting that new attitude on court. 3 rounds so far, just 10 games of squash for Barada. The only question hanging over him could well be his fitness. But no such worries for Paul Johnson. He went 5 gruelling games in his last Super Series appearance in Hong Kong against his competition nemesis Peter Nicol. Johnson lost to Nicol again in the Commonwealth Games and would love to take his revenge in this Ahram final. It's the semis first though, and he's played a lot of squash to get this far. Does he think he's got what it takes to compete at the highest level?
In my earlier days, I always had the ability to have these sort of flash in the pan one-off results, and beat some of the top players. But I realised that if I wanted to take the game seriously, I needed to become a lot more consistent and not lose to players who were ranked below me, and that's what I've been sort of patching up some of the areas in my game where I feel my consistency has been dropping, and it seems to have paid off. So I'm really pleased.
Playing Barada though, consistency isn't Paul's only worry as he prepares to take on the 3,000 strong Egyptian crowd.
I think because of how influential the crowd are, you need to be playing 20-25% better than Ahmed if you're going to beat him out there, because you know the big points and the crowd, they at crucial stages of the match they do have an influence. So the court up there is a strange court. Although it's very hot now, of a night time it's desert, so as you know it gets very cold, and the ball dies quite a bit. So the key to the game will be get the ball deep, get myself in front and try to dominate the play. So, but Ahmed's obviously going to make that very difficult for me, and so the crowd. You know, I've got a few things that I'll be working on. Hopefully they'll be all right.